All right, let's start there. Banning virtual guns in virtual schools. Doesn't that just sound stupid? It sounds like you must be making something up, Vicki McKenna. Because, first off, it's a virtual school, and secondly, it's a virtual gun. I mean, let me tell you what happened here. Northern Ozaukee County Virtual School is one of, a couple dozen virtual schools in Wisconsin. It's managed by the Northern Ozaukee County School District. A young boy named Matthew was in contact with the person who is basically his advisor at virtual school. He's 11 years old. So he goes online and he sends her a message. And it just says, hi, nice student aide. Did you have a great summer? And she writes back, hello, Matthew. Thanks for your email. Could you do me a favor and change your profile picture? No guns in school, even virtual schools. Thanks a bunch. The child had put a picture of a gun on an American flag. He had uploaded that as his avatar, as is an icon to identify him when he was communicating with his virtual teachers and his virtual aide. It's a tiny picture of a gun on an American flag. In fact, it's so small, I had to blow it up when his mom sent me the picture so that I could actually see that it was, in fact, the picture of a gun on an American flag. His parents and his whole family are, part of the hunting culture, part of the sportsman's culture. His mom is very active in Second Amendment causes. So, this is his family. There's nothing strange about it. So he puts a picture of the American flag with a gun, about a half an inch by a half an inch, as his picture to identify him to his teachers. And he was told that no guns in school, even virtual school. But it's not a gun. It's a teeny, 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 tiny, tiny, tiny picture of a gun. And she is telling him he is not allowed to use this teeny, teeny, tiny picture because it violates some kind of policy in virtual schools, some kind of no weapons policy in virtual. I don't know. Last I checked, you can't pick up a picture and shoot it. So I go and I'm still, during the commercial break, I was just sifting through the Northern Ozaukee School District's website to see if I could find the policy on thumbnails or on even just basically on weapons for virtual schools. I could not find it for virtual schools, nor could I find it for the regular school districts. It's not available for public consumption online. I don't know why, but it isn't. So I assume that what is happening is that there is a zero tolerance policy on anything that looks like a gun, like the kid who bit into the Pop-Tart. So here's this boy. He's in a virtual school. What is a virtual school? He's never sets foot in a classroom. He never walks into a brick and mortar school. He is doing distanced learning on a computer overseen by his mom. So it's a virtual gun and it's a virtual school. So the mom is worried, of course, that her son is going to be expelled. But this is what she writes to me. I looked. I don't recall ever seeing such thing. I can't find such thing as such as this weapons policy that says that guns, even pictures of them, are banned in virtual schools. He never sets foot in a classroom. It's just a tiny picture. Are they really going to suppress the First Amendment rights of my child? It's ridiculous. How far are people willing to go to infringe on our rights? More importantly, how far will we let it go? I refuse to bend. If need be, I will take it further. 2 years ago, one of the virtual learning teachers told my other son he could not write a paper on the Second Amendment. It was around the time of the Newtown shooting, so I let it slide. Now, I wish I hadn't, because it seems to me it's the same anti-gun indoctrination that is affecting my younger son now. He is worried about getting expelled from his school because of this. I am worried about him getting expelled from his school because of this. Why? What would possess anyone to enact such an idiotic policy? What could possibly be the argument that you can't have pictures? Somebody just called in, didn't want to go on the air. Some schools actually don't allow books, history books, to show pictures of guns. So pictures of guns from the Revolutionary War, I suppose, or the Civil War. No pictures of guns from World War II. We're not even allowing pictures now. So, but what's the safety? What's the argument for safety to ban a teeny tiny picture of a gun? There's no argument for it. Just like there's no argument to ban a child, to threaten to expel a child who would bite his Pop-Tart into the shape of a gun, or to ban a child who brought his dad's Glock pen, ballpoint pen, into a classroom. This is madness. And now it's beyond madness because the child in this case, at least you could say the children in the other cases were face to face with other children. This child is not face to face with anybody but his mom or his brother. He's not in a classroom. He's not seeing teachers. He's in a virtual school. Her other child couldn't write a paper. Now, who was going to see the paper on the Second Amendment? The teacher was going to see the paper. Her other child was told he was not allowed to write a paper on the Second Amendment. A virtual school disallowed another virtual student from writing a paper, not on guns, but on the Second Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. Who's threatened here? Nobody. Who's threatened by this child's avatar? Who's going to see the avatar? One person is going to see the avatar. His teacher is going to see his avatar. This is Ozaukee County, for crying out loud. This isn't Dane County or Milwaukee County. I thought people were normal in Ozaukee County. Anyway, I want to share this story because I have an update on this story. If you listen to my Milwaukee show, most people probably didn't. You heard me tell a story about an 11-year-old boy who is a student at North Ozaukee Virtual School. Okay. And his mom told him, it's time to email your, whatever the student learning advocate or whatever they call them in virtual schools. And so he sends her a nice note saying, "Hi, hope you had a nice summer." So he had uploaded a tiny thumbnail-sized avatar of a gun on an American flag. And that was his avatar. So he emails his teacher, and she emails back friendly, "Hi, but, I'm going to have to ask you to get rid of that gun picture. No guns in school, even virtual school." And so I get an email, I originally was contacted by Nick Clark at Wisconsin Carry. Right. And this young boy's mom is a member of Wisconsin Carry. And he says, "Well, what's going on? What, can you help her at all?" And I said, "I don't know what I can do to help." I tried to find the policy from the North Ozaukee Virtual School that said that there is a no guns policy, no gun pictures policy. There wasn't, as I find out. This is the update. There was no policy. This was just bias. This was just pure bias. And this is what the mom just sent me. She said the school has now said they will plan a policy change to prevent kids from using guns as avatar pictures. So there was no policy in place. But now they're going to craft a policy to prevent virtual guns in virtual schools. The principal was upset that the media got involved, meaning me. I'm the only media that got it. I was the only media.
Wonder who he was
so the
talking
principal
about.
Can get mad at me. I'm the only media that bothered to cover this. By the way, I did also send it over to Adam Tobias at Wisconsin Reporter. I don't know if he's going to do a story on it. She said she had wished we had contacted her to begin with.
The principal.
Yeah. However, we were always told to contact our student learning advocate with concerns, which we did. She failed to respond. So they went to me, they went to Nick Clark, and I went to the airwaves. So now The reaction to this ignorance is to codify the ignorance. So what this district is now telling parents is that you're not allowed to express your passion for the Constitution if your passion for the Constitution also happens to include the Second Amendment.
Did the principal claim that somebody had complained about it or something?
No. She complained to the student learning advocate. The mom did. Student learning advocate blew her off. So she contacted Nick Clark at Wisconsin Cary, and Nick says, I know just the person to talk to, and shot an email to me, and I hooked up and got into communication with this mom. I tried to get information back from the North Ozaukee School District, and I was just getting, passed into voicemail, so I had to go on the air. Now, so the child can't be expelled for his avatar now. That was what he was worried about, that he could be expelled. Well, he can't now, but once the new policy is in place, should we be expelling children for having... What if he had a Bible verse as his avatar?
Right.
Are we going to be expelling?
Right.
I mean, honestly, he might offend somebody. This is the dumbing down of... this is what the political left thinks it can do. That it can somehow just almost criminalize things they don't like or speech they don't like. Right down to an 11-year-old kid who had a tiny virtual gun in a virtual school.
The one thing that people need to remember about things like this is that the left pushes assuming we will not push back. That is an important concept to remember. They count on us not pushing back and saying, well, I guess that's the way it is, or, whatever. And they do. They count on it. They bet on conservatives not pushing back every single time.
Yeah, and I hope this mom continues to push back. I mean, I plan to push back. The response from the district wasn't to say, no, we don't have a policy. Your son is free to use this. It was, oh my God, we don't have a policy. We better get a policy in place to punish this 11-year-old child.
That got the meetings going
for believing in this, for believing in the Constitution. Hilarious. Somebody was listening to the show and said Vicki and Brian are talking about this situation at Ozaukee Virtual School. And somebody posted in response a whole bunch of pictures of guns saying, oh no, they're multiplying. Take virtual cover. Exactly. Let me get to this one email I had here. Union Grove High School has a pistol team. That was a text from Tiger Heberling, who a lot of you might remember Tiger from the Union Grove Union Thug battle. But his kid goes to Union Grove High School, says they have a pistol team in Union Grove High School. But his North Ozaukee Virtual School is going to be banning virtual guns because they're fearing virtual violence, I guess. But this is the left. You can't explain this for, to cover somebody on liability. This is now just about trying to craft a new way to think about our Second Amendment. And in
a virtual school.
In a virtual freaking school. It isn't like this kid is going to go sit down at the lunchroom with other kids. He's going to be sitting at a table with his brother eating lunch at his house on his computer that his mom bought him.
Yeah.
That's what he's going to be doing. I don't understand why parents have not pushed back against this. You've now got 20 years of this insanity. Last year, a boy who bit a Pop-Tart into the shape of a gun just because he took a bite was suspended from school.
Yeah.
All right? Now you've got a little boy, so you're 11 years old, and now your teacher is telling you can't use a picture of an American flag and a gun, which is it's about the Second Amendment for him and his family.
Right.
Because why? Because why? Why? Give me a reason why. But that's what I want with the liberals, to give me a reason why. Now the principal is saying that she's going to enact a policy that officially bans virtual guns from virtual schools. I mean, it's just absolutely nuts. I went looking for this policy online. There was no code of conduct policy.
Okay.
There was no weapons policy listed. There was no official rules that govern student behavior or interaction with teachers. Nothing. It didn't exist online. And now this principal is bound and determined to create a policy. It has to be, as I understand, though, it's run through the district. So it would have to be a district decision. And presumably that is a decision that could be challenged by a school board. And so now this mom, in order to prevent her kid from being suspended or expelled in the future for doing absolutely nothing wrong. He's done absolutely nothing wrong. Mm-hmm. He is a good kid. He is a well-behaved kid. He is not a delinquent child. He is doing very well in his classes. He is a studious child.
So he's
done absolutely nothing wrong. This is the you know what? Parents have got to step up.
Well, and the fact that the principal is a little bit sensitive, apparently, to having any kind of media scrutiny at all. Okay.
Thanks.
Got it now.
Got it. So noted, and we'll take that under advisement. To have the principal react to the scrutiny by being even more of a tyrannical, what?
Double down
on the tyranny. Immediately
didn't say, well, we want to take a look at, or whatever. And, no, we're going to write a policy.